A peak body for the construction industry has warned it will push back on the government's second wave of industrial relations reforms. Master Builders Australia says the proposed measures, quote, represent one of the most significant and real attacks on the rights of self-employed and independent contractors. So joining me live now is the Chief Executive of Master Builders Australia, Denita Wawn. Denita, thanks so much for your time. What exactly are you talking about here?
The government has had a policy for quite some time that it would change independent contractors who were deemed employee-like to be forced to be an employee. There was a question mark about who that would actually apply to, but it's been very evident since the discussion paper was released 3 or 4 weeks ago, that can apply to any independent contractor. And regardless of whether they had made the decision, willingly, in their best interest, that they may well be forced to become an employee. We say that's unacceptable. People should have the freedom of choice to determine whether or not they're going to be an employee or an independent contractor, and as such are seeking that these laws should not apply to the building and construction industry.
Right, that makes sense. But do you think this is the intention of the law, or do you think these tradies are collateral damage?
Well, there's always been confusion about actually what the policy is, that there has been a reference to gig workers when this policy of employee-like is discussed. But we have asked for nearly 2 years now to clarify, is that limited to gig workers or will it cover building and construction? We've never got a straight answer from the government, and as such this has then been established by the discussion paper that it will apply much more broadly than just gig workers. It can apply to any independent contractor, and as such we say that the government, if they don't intend it to be building and construction, then they should specifically say that. Otherwise, we will interpret it the way we are interpreting it, and that any independent contractor will be covered if they're deemed employee-like.
Okay, so what's happened in consultations? Are you concerned about what has been said in an unofficial way? What can you tell us about the conversations that you've had?
Well, up until 3 weeks ago, we had no understanding about the extent of this law. We continued to ask for it to be clarified, and the government advised us that they would not give us any details. They would not rule out building and construction. And it's only until the discussion paper was released 3 weeks ago that it was clear to us that this would be much broader than just the purported gig workers. And as such, we've read it as that. We continue to say we need to debate the why do we need these laws. But the government has said that they will not debate the why, they will simply debate the how. And as such, we're saying that is unacceptable because we don't understand why we're included in this and why other industries that are included that should not be.
Okay, so give us an idea of what the material effect is. If this includes tradies, what is that effect going to have on them individually, but more broadly the industry?
Well, we've got about 430,000 building and construction businesses around the country. Around 260,000 of those are independent contractors. A large number of them work predominantly for the same builder, but will do some other side jobs as well. And their preference is to work for a variety of different reasons as an independent contractor as opposed to an employee. It gives them that freedom of choice. It enables them to access tax benefits and so forth. They don't want to be forced to be an employee. So we argue that the way in which the discussion paper is currently structured, it may well find that many of those independent contractors, 260,000 of them, will be forced to become an employee despite the fact that they choose not to do so now. Certainly there are issues around sham contracting, and we believe that there is concern about sham contracting. Look at those laws. Don't push people into becoming employees when they don't wish to do so.
Denita Wawn, thanks so much for your time.
Pleasure.